love it with some passion. Rubber band and the money that keeps stacking. Got a honey who come with elite fashion. She too fine, I tell her that thing magic. You ain't a hustle, you broke, well that seems tragic. Gotta catch in the field like deep passes. I tell her plug if it's sticky, then please bag it. I need the best cause I grew up beneath madness. Need a matte burgundy mercy. Jewelry so heavy it might hurt me. Smoking extra kill, that extra seal. Whoa, Buffalo money need extra bills. Till I'm eating so much I got a breakfast deal. I put.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Jay Spence the King, and I am back. It's been a minute. I actually been looking forward to this. I got my boy Antoine Staley with me. Got Steros for the Girls gonna be joining us real soon, but you know what it is for now. What's going on, Antoine?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I've been good. How you been?
I can't complain, man.
Yeah, they've been working you, even though it's the off season. There's been a lot happening, man.
I mean, it never is, never a dull moment, but yeah, it's definitely been a lot going on for sure. I mean, you had the schedule released last week, and OTAs are coming up, and mandatory minicamp as well.
Well, let's get started. Let's jump right into it. I mean, like I feel like it's not technically Jets news, but now your quarterback is but the team that you cover's quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. His former number one wide receiver yesterday or the day before, I can't remember which day it was now. It all runs together. But he came out, basically, he made some statements, and he's like, look, you can tell I didn't need Aaron Rodgers. And I guess some people are taking that I don't know how else you really can take it. But how do you take those comments from him? And obviously, I know it has no effect on Aaron Rodgers now, but what drama can we draw up about this going into the season?
Nothing really. I mean, I think he probably felt like he had something to prove. I mean, obviously, he was there in Green Bay, and a lot of people feel like he was probably a product of Aaron Rodgers. But last year kind of showed he wasn't. I mean, he went to go play with his former college teammate Derek Carr. Had individual success, making the all-pro team, Pro Bowl, all that stuff. Still, I think the best wide receiver in football, to be honest with you. And then, I mean, considering the Raiders quarterback situation, and they benched him, and then they put in Jarrett Stidham, but he still was putting up big numbers. So I think he felt like he needed to have a season like now. It's like he didn't have a season like that now. It's up to them to try to start winning because you got Jimmy Garoppolo over there. I mean, Josh McDaniels is under fire. I mean, especially a year after, they made the playoffs in 2021, had a subpar year last year, and now they're trying to turn the page and try to compete in a very tough AFC West where you got, obviously, the Chiefs are still, the king there, and then the Chargers made the playoffs too, and, we'll be interested to see what Denver looks like with Sean Payton there too.
It's just crazy because last year everybody assumed and everybody thought like, oh, that division, AFC West is going to be, it's a gauntlet the way it is. Everybody's going to be a beast and everybody's going to have three teams make the playoff. Like I remember the conversation from last year. Now it seems like that's how the AFC East is being talked about. But, but no, I think it's still going to be tough next year. I don't care who is out there. It's going to be tough to go through Kansas City and try to win that division. But I don't know. I don't think they got any more stable at the quarterback position.
Not really. I mean, you kind of exchange one problem for another. I mean, I guess with Carr, like at least at times he was consistent. I mean, it was also some times where he made some boneheaded plays. I feel like he threw a lot of interceptions last year too, as well. But obviously, he wasn't the Josh McDaniels guy. So you wanted to get against somebody that McDaniels is familiar with. Obviously, him and Jimmy G have a connection going back to New England. We'll see if Garoppolo can stay healthy. That's the main thing. Like, he hadn't been able to stay healthy, out his whole entire career. You look at him in San Francisco, during those days. Like, I think he had 1 year where he played over 15 games. So, yeah, I mean, if he can stay healthy, then maybe, it's a shot to make the playoffs. But, I mean, it's always a team that kind of sneaks up and makes the playoffs that I don't think nobody expected. Last year was Jacksonville. I think they were a bit ahead of the schedule. We'll see who it is this year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, because like you mentioned, Denver has a coach now. I can't say it was all coach related, but they didn't look good.
No, it wasn't all Hackett's fault. Although, like, he probably in a position he shouldn't have been in. But giving Russell Wilson all that power, I mean, that certainly didn't help. And it seemed like they kind of alienated, whether you right or wrong, some of the teammates that they had. But now you got a guy that's a little bit sterner fist and has been a head coach before. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see if he can turn it around. I don't know. Like, Russell just didn't he just didn't look right at all. I mean, he looked like he aged like 10 years last year. Now I think, like I say, part of that was maybe the system, but obviously he doesn't run the way he used to. So I think that's also an issue too as well.
Yeah, it's well, some people are saying it was injury, it was based on injury last year for Russ. I don't know if I would say it was. I, I don't know. I feel
He
like
was hurt,
that's
yeah.
always. I mean, he was hurt, but I feel like that's the excuse every year at the end of the season when things don't go right. If he would have played well, nobody would have said, and he played injured. Like nobody would have brought that up. It would have just been because that's sometimes the debate I have about Josh. Like as a Bills fan, a lot of times Bills fans like, yeah, well, he had a jacked up UCL since week whatever it was against the Jets, and it's like, okay, but when we have games when he goes out there and throws for 350 and 3 touchdowns and rushes for 2, nobody says, well, he's doing that with the UCL. So it's just like keep the same energy,
Exactly. Like you can't play both sides of the fence. So yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like, so yeah, you have to, if you're out there on the field, you have to be judged for what's out there on the field. Just kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had a bit of a down year last year. He was injured. He had some injuries, whether you talk about the rib and thumb, but you got to judge it for he was out there on the field. If he could have easily shut it down, but which I commend him for, because a lot of quarterbacks, don't play through a rib injury or a thumb injury, but you still have to judge the product out there on the field. So yeah, it definitely works both ways. And with Russ, yeah, I mean, injuries as you get older are part of, a factor in it too as well. Like he's in his mid-30s and he's taking a lot of hits, and we'll see if he can recover from that.
Yeah, can you do me a quick favor? Throw that on mute for me, man. It's gonna be all on the pod. My bad. And I shot you a text, but so we'll see what happens with Russ. I think, and then now bringing it back to the AFC East and talking about Aaron Rodgers now. You're right. He had a down year. I think it had a lot to do, which any Packers fan you talk to is going to say, yeah, he was injured. It was his thumb, like you mentioned. But I guess the way I look at it, I feel like either, regardless of whatever injury history that he had last year or not, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out just with something to prove in the first place. I feel like with the Packers trading him, with the Packers saying, you know what, we're done with these games with you at the end of your career. Just go ahead. We're going to send you off to New York, let you do your thing. I think in his mind, he still has something to prove. Like, look, okay, you guys traded me away. I'm going to show y'all that was the wrong decision to make. And boom. So I think you're going to have a good year out of Aaron Rodgers anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he has something to prove. He feels like he obviously a lot of people are doubting him, his age, and being in the situation that he is, and this is giving him new life. To be honest with you, he's in a new situation. Like he's smiling, he's happy. I feel like he's in a really good place with the Jets, and he might play only a year, but at the same time, and again, this is kind of giving him a bit of a new life and new opportunity. And sometimes you need a change. I think it was good for him, him and the Packers to kind of move on. Obviously, they want to get younger at the quarterback position with Jordan Love, and with him, it was kind of like, yeah, he had been flirting with retirement in the last few years, and now kind of gives him a new life and opportunity to maybe compete for a Super Bowl once again. And it seems like the Packers wasn't going to willing to do all that with them because it seemed like they want to go in a different direction.
I guess it trips me out too when I look at so obviously for those who aren't privy to the rest of the league outside of like the Bills or the Jets, so the Packers agreed to like an extension, I guess, instead of doing the option with Jordan Love, they agreed to an extension where it's typically is almost the same money, but it's not fully guaranteed if I'm looking at it the right way. How much faith do you feel like that organization really has in him? Because and I get it, like he hasn't really played. So to me, like I get why you make the move where it's not fully guaranteed to where you have some flexibility. But I don't know. Are we going to be talking about the Packers being players next year for one of the quarterbacks in the draft, or are we looking at Jordan Love possibly being the quarterback of the future there?
We don't know. We hadn't seen him play. It's kind of like Trey Lance, the same thing. Like we hadn't really seen him play either. So it's hard to judge those guys without seeing them play on the field. I think, it could be in play for a quarterback because it's going to be. I think it's going to be 4 quarterbacks taking the first round next year too. I was just looking at the guys that are going to be eligible to come out, and it's going to be, if not a better class than what this was. I think it's, you have two guys that are highly profiled, and May from North Carolina, and obviously Caleb Williams from USC. But back to the Packers, I mean, it's just a lot of unknowns. It's kind of the same thing when Aaron Rodgers was replacing Brett Favre. We don't necessarily know we didn't know how Aaron Rodgers was going to be. Although I saw him in college and I thought he'd be a really, really good quarterback, but you have no idea how that's going to translate to the NFL. Jordan Love, I don't have the same confidence in, considering, he didn't play, at a big time school like Aaron Rodgers did, or he wasn't on TV and all of that stuff too. Although I saw a lot of him in college, but it's just, when you sit on the bench for 3 years, then it's still a lot of unknowns. But the Packers seem like they're very confident in him. So I guess they seen something in him to believe that he can be the next guy. Otherwise, I think they probably would have tried their best to keep Aaron Rodgers maybe another year, and I'm sure Aaron probably would have wanted to stay there too. But they seem like they were content on moving on finally, and they kind of facilitated the whole thing.
Man, and to bring this around to the Jets, to me it seems like the Jets, obviously. Okay, maybe I'm wrong when I say this, but I feel like adding Allen Lazard to me would have been enough. Like with the receiving core that the Jets had last year, you add Lazard and then you add Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I think that's a pretty solid wide receiver room. I kind of feel like I don't even want to say it's too much of a good thing, because I don't think that it's an improvement to go out at this point of his career and to get the guys that they brought in there now. My man Strohs is in here with us now. We'll add him in for this question as well. But Twan, like, how do you view all of the acquisitions that they made? Because I feel like you might now be kind of taking playing time away from some young guys that deserve it, just based on the fact that these guys are signing these. Randall Cobb, I just don't think is an upgrade to anybody that was.
He's like the fifth wide receiver on their roster, so it's not. Yeah. It's more that's more to kind of appease Aaron Rodgers and to make him comfortable, like a familiar face. That's why you add him. I mean, we've seen it with Peyton Manning when he came into the Broncos. They added in a familiar way. I mean, obviously the Bucs and Tom Brady, obviously adding Rob Gronkowski. You do things to kind of appease the guy that you're, trying to make happy at the quarterback position. So that's kind of what it is with Aaron Rodgers. You're bringing in guys that he's familiar with, and also familiar with us because it's a new system too. It's a new offensive system with Nathaniel Hackett. So, yeah, I think that's kind of why you break him in. But, yeah, I mean, McCole Hartman, I think, is a good move for him. Obviously, Elijah Moore, they traded him. It was a lot of things on and off the field that, last year that didn't go right for him. But I think Hartman, the kind of the versatility he gives you, I think that's great, because he can be a returner for you. He can also do like end arounds and kind of like gadget plays too, along with being a solid wide receiver, slot wide receiver when he's healthy. That is. So, yeah, I think that's a good move for him. But, in addition to their already receiving core, obviously you got Garrett there, who's going to be their number one regardless. I mean, he's their top guy. But I think all in all, I think their receiving core is a much better place than what it was a year ago.
Yeah, Strohs, he talked about Elijah Moore and laughed about it. That's because Antoine ran him out of New York, man.
Antoine was giving him the business.
He was out there bullying boys, man.
No, I had nothing to do with that.
He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." But what's good, Strohs? How you been, man?
Hey, man, I just got done, bro. So I'm good, man. I can't complain. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that, but life is good, man. I'm happy for the Jets. I'm happy for y'all, man. Y'all got your boy Rodgers. Y'all had a good little draft. Twan is I'm surprised he don't have no Jets hat on, but them Heat gonna lose. So we'll just start with that.
You think that
just like the Lakers last night?
I like the Nuggets, so.
Now wait a minute. What? Now why y'all got to do that? Why y'all got to come in here throwing? You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even do nothing. What did I do to deserve that? Okay, this is between. Y'all didn't have to go and take jabs at the Lakers there. I don't know. I think the Heat got a chance, man. I do. I think the Heat. Listen, I think they underperformed all year, so I think their seeding don't matter. I think that they're a good team. I think Jimmy's a hooper in the playoffs. I think he turns into like Jordan Jr. or I don't know where he connects to this level of play when the playoffs roll around, but the dude is next level in the playoffs. And I think we're gonna see a Heat Laker rematch, man. You shaking your head. I think the Lakers figured something out in the second half when it was too late. I do.
Yeah,
I think freeing AD up the way that they did to allow him to kind of just be a freelancing defender like that, and you put Rue. I don't know, but go ahead. I hear you gonna throw some hate. I already saw it in your face. Go ahead. And,
well, I don't expect the Heat to win, but I'm rooting for them because the fact that they made it this far, I think is a heck of an accomplishment. Consider they were an 8th seed, and then they beat the top team in basketball record wise this year. Although I know Giannis was hurt and everything surrounded it, but the fact that they did that was amazing. And then to beat New York, also not having a home court advantage, also amazing. So now it's just kind of gravy. So
yeah, no, it's been a pretty cool run for them, man.
Yeah,
Jimmy is just him.
The Lakers, man, I don't know, man. Like, they better win game 2. Like, I think they're not gonna beat the Nuggets both times in LA. I can tell you that right now. They better wrap it up. Like, I would never doubt LeBron, like, because obviously he's such a great player, but Jokic, man, that man is a dog. Like, he's nice. He's the best player in basketball right now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even debate that, but I think the thing that I'm looking at now, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't have the faith in the Lakers going into the playoffs like I do right now. I just think that after the trade deadline, they really made the right type of moves to put a decent team together and a good supporting like this is the first time I ever remember watching Bron not have to basically win the game. Like even when he had Kyrie, like, yeah, he had certain moments when Kyrie would drop 41 with him. They both up there doing whatever. But like on a regular basis, he was carrying the team, and then he would have people kind of show up and help out a little bit here and there. This is the first time where he ain't. I just feel like he's able to kind of let people get involved, do what they want to do, and then when he wants to turn it on, he can.
He was until I think this series. I think this series he's gonna have to do a lot more because, man, you're playing like the Nuggets they aren't the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors are they were just kind of going through the motions, and it's not to take anything away from the the win. It's obviously beat the champion. That's a big win, but the Nuggets are a whole different animal. And then Memphis, as we've come to find out, they're a mess. Like, they're just complete mess of an organization. So they kind of got some breaks there, to be honest with you. So now, like, I think if they beat the Nuggets, then I think they will win the championship.
Don't say it, because they're not going to beat the Nuggets.
I don't think they're going to either. But this is like, I think the Nuggets have been the best team in the playoffs so far this year.
Let me tell you the underrated thing that people don't talk about when it comes to the Nuggets is Mike Malone. I'm a big fan of Darvin Ham and the adjustments they made in the second half, but Mike Malone gonna have them boys ready. Like, the Rory Hachimura thing, that it caught wind, and that's cool. But like, they're gonna make some adjustments. They might use Big Jeff Green or they might go with Aaron Gordon and some of those pick and roll and those switch situations and stuff. They're gonna be ready. And when's the last time AD has been dominant in 2 games in a row like this? Like, I just don't see it happening. They need LeBron and a lot of the role players to really step up, but they put up a fight last night. It's still a good game, man. It was fun.
Can y'all, Steros? Now I'm with you, and I'm not going to debate you just for the sake of debating. But let's not run with these fake narratives. Like AD, I get it. He was going good game, bad game, good game, bad.
That's history. Dude, that's his history.
He just had 4 good games in a row. Like, literally, go back. Do I have to drag y'all on the stats like I did when y'all was trying to talk about Bill's secondary?
Bro,
like like the run defense.
Watch AD on Thursday.
I guess like you tried to drag us, and guess how they lost to the playoffs. They run defense. Exactly. Like,
that wasn't the debate. That wasn't the debate. You trying to change the debate now. At that point, you said the Bills didn't have a good run defense.
No, I said their run defense was a problem. And then you threw up these hollow stats that didn't mean anything. And guess what? They got ran all over in the playoffs. So I told you.
It wasn't just to get ran over in the playoffs. They got beat down everywhere. No, they got beat down everywhere in the playoffs.
So they didn't get run over?
They got ran over. They got passed over. They had Easter Sunday on the Bills got destroyed in the playoffs. So I'm not debating you. I'm not fighting with you. But what I'm saying is, at the time, your argument was that the Bills' run defense was suspect. It wasn't good. I didn't give you empty stats. I told you what their average was per game against team. I went throughout the whole season. They had like 4 games that you would consider a bad defensive run performance.
I don't care about the stats. They wasn't good. They wasn't good. They got carved up for 172 yards in a playoff game. That's not good, bro. Like I'm saying,
I'm not debating that, but that wasn't the debate at the time. Like
you looking at the stats. Like I'm looking at by the eye test.
I was looking at the season. Defense. I went to a lot of games. I watched every game. I wasn't just looking at the stats. We had last year the Buffalo Bills during the season had a very good run defense. It wasn't just me looking at stats. Like we stopped very good running backs. The Cleveland Browns could do nothing against the Buffalo Bills run defense with those running backs. You look at the Lions. They had red zone opportunities that they capitalized on, but they did not run well against the team. The Vikings had a good second half, had one big play in the second half. That's context to it. They had a good day, but that was because of that 170 plus yard run. Like the Bills last year, 8 defensively on the run. You just a Jets fan now. I get it. You just a Jets fan.
It has nothing to do with that. Now, I like how you play at both sides of the fence. Like you said, okay.
I'm not.
Yes, you did. You just literally said, okay, the Vikings had one big play, so the stats.
I was adding context.
So the stats don't matter for that, but they matter for everything. I didn't say that either. Yes, I didn't say that. You just said it.
I did not. From the very beginning, I said I went through the whole season. I told you that the Bills had like 5 games that were subpar. That Vikings game is one of them. I'm not changing nothing. But for the season, the Buffalo Bills had a very good run defense, and you tried to drag.
Yeah, they did, but they definitely did.
Yeah, in the playoffs,
weakness is in the middle. The weakness is in the middle of the defense. That's
and I'm not debating.
And guess what? The Dolphins ran roughshod on them a few times, and then you saw what happened.
The Dolphins went home. The Dolphins went home.
What about the road game?
What road game?
Oh,
y'all played them 3 times. Y'all played them 3 times. Like I'm talking about the game
early in the season. Okay, we played them 3 times and beat them twice. I mean,
and guess what? They ran all over you all 3 times too. So,
okay, I'm not debating that. I just said the Bills had. I said they had certain games where they didn't perform well against the run, but overall for the season they had a very good run defense. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
you just. What about the playoffs? We lost. We got our asses kicked.
Well, you acted like this is great run defense, but it was not. It was not good. It was not good, man. It was not good. I think it was. Right. It might not have been as bad as I made it out to be, but it surely wasn't as good as you made it out to be either.
Well, can we meet there? That's the middle. Can we meet right there?
Yeah.
That it wasn't as bad as you said, and it wasn't as good as I said.
Yes, correct.
Bet. That's a victory right there. Look at us compromising.
Hey, but them Lakers though, that's a whole nother story. You know, I'm gonna stick to my guns on that. I really do think the Nuggets gonna get them 4-2. I really do.
I got Nuggets in 6 too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if I was to take my fandom out of it, and like me not being a Lakers fan, if I was to take that out of it, I would probably agree. I think that Joker's insane right now, man, and I've always liked KCP as a role player. I think he's playing big right now for them. And I think Murray. They really put together a nice team.
Let me ask you a question though. D'Angelo Russell, man, like I had high hopes for him coming over, and it's like, man, it's like the effort's not there. It's like it's so lackadaisical. He doesn't like he's so talented. I feel like he could take over games. He just don't. He won't.
He's always been like that. That's why I feel like he's always been like that. I can't speak for anybody else, but yeah, I always feel like he's been like he's had the talent to be a consistent all-star, but he doesn't always put it together. And I think you kind of see that he kind of goes through the motions. He has his games where he puts up 20 points and and he's there. But then you have other games where you barely even know that he's out there on the court.
That's the problem with him for me is that exactly what Antoine said. Like he's talented. He has all the talent to be one of the top guards in the league. And he got just all of it. And then he'll come out and he'll drop 25 in the first half in one game. And he just makes it look like he can dominate anytime he goes out there. Then he have another game where he's missing layups and he's, missing wide open jumpers and he's just not passing the ball. And you see LeBron walking away frustrated. But you know what? I got to give Bron a lot of the blame on stuff too. We can't act like Bron. I'm so tired. I get it. You're 38, year 20, and you want calls to go your way every time. But I get so frustrated watching him not go back on defense when he don't get the call that he wants. And he sits there like this and he's walking up the court, or he's sitting there complaining, crying to the ref, and then it's a fast break on the other end. And that just bugs me. That bugs me. And you're the leader.
He had a moment last night where game is on the line and he ain't even trying to get back on defense. I'm like,
well,
Yeah.
I mean, he is older too, so I get that. But if the game's on the line at certain points, yeah, you gotta, you
that
gotta
man,
get back
this
there.
is the same dude that'll come down on a chase block and
I was just about to say.
and smack dudes out of bounds. And KCP, I mean, Braun came out of nowhere, just and then
Out of nowhere.
and then he just
I
like,
saw that coming too, because when he was behind him, I was like, I already know what's gonna happen.
and he should have murdered that, but he nicked it. But typically, Braun is swatting that to the second level.
So, but to bring it back around the NFL, because like I said, I don't want to debate on on that, because I could talk about the Lakers series all night. I tell you what, I think whoever wins the series wins the championship. If I take it there, I'm just hoping, the fandom in me is hoping that it's the Lakers. I just I keep saying, if the Lakers make it, it's not Staples no more. I'm gonna go to Crypto Arena or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, if they make it, I gotta go out to LA for it. I have to. What,
you gonna go to the arena?
Yeah, because I don't know the next time. Obviously, I think this would be the last time we see Bron in the finals if they go this time. And then on top of it, I just can't. I don't know the next time I think the Lakers will make it. They find a way every 5 to 7 years. I get it, but
yeah, they might get Kyrie next year, so they might have one more year possibly, like, to have success. But outside of that, yeah, I can't see it. So yeah, this is probably the best. This is probably their best shot. Like, to at least win another championship. Probably his best last shot to win a championship.
Yeah. So, but so back to the schedule. We didn't get to talk last week, and then the schedule came out Thursday. Sterles, let's start with you, and then we'll swing it around. So, we open up against each other. That means I get to talk so much shit to Twan. Like, that whole, like, I'm gonna be out there, be out in Newark. And then from Newark, I'm gonna head up to. I know that's what I'm saying. No, I know. I'm saying then from Newark, I'm gonna head up to East Rutherford, and then, I know I'm gonna be down there in Newark though. I got to see where B at.
You can take a plane to the city and then come in. So some people do that too.
Well, we're gonna be out there, so I'm gonna talk so much crap leading up to that game. I know the Buffalo Bills better do their thing for that game, but the Buffalo Bills open up their season in East Rutherford against the New York Jets. Sterles, where you at with it, man? How you feel like the NFL did overall with the scheduling? How do you like opening up the season this way? And I feel like I already know your answer to this, but do you feel like it's disrespectful for the defending division champs to have to open up on the road?
Nah, man, I think I wouldn't have.
Twan, you'll be shocked. I'm sorry, Twan, you'll be shocked how many times I've seen that. But go ahead, Sterles.
I wouldn't have it any other way, man. I think that the Bills have a lot to prove. Like, even though they won the division, man, I feel like, all other three teams to me got better this offseason. And I think if you're going to set the tone for the season, man, you got to go out and beat the Jets. You got to. We're going to see how that plays out. Great to catch the Jets early, because I think they're going to be a hell of a team moving forward. But the game that I'm looking forward to the most is the Bengals. That's the test for me. Like, if the Bills are for real, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that they're probably going to lose 5 games in the season. Like, the division's tough. They got some really tough games. They got the second toughest schedule in the league or something like that, statistically. But it's the Bengals game for me, man. That's the one where it's like, just like we talked about Kansas City in the past. You got to show me you could beat the Bengals, because what they did to you in the playoffs and what they're about to do to you before the DeMar Hamlin thing, they was gonna catch them hands. And so that's the one for me that's like my favorite game of the season.
I need to know what's gonna happen with Mixon, all of this legal stuff that he got going on. I need that dude to get it together. Just get it together and take advantage of these opportunities. But Antoine, I saw you shaking your head when I asked Sterling about the disrespect. You have no idea how frustrating sometimes it is, man. Like, you be having these conversations with people and they're like, well, it's so disrespectful. Now to just get Aaron Rodgers and they're the darling of and it's like, first of all, it's New York. It's 9/11. Like, it's like, there's so many different things that it's no disrespect. It ain't like the Bills won the Super Bowl and we got to play
that's
away.
exactly
You know what I mean? Like it's a divisional game. So I think it's ridiculous. But I mean, when I tell you the amount of people who I've seen complain about that, and I'm like, the thing y'all need to be complaining about is the fact that they building the whole stadium without a damn dome. That's what y'all need to be complaining about.
Why? They need to. They don't need a dome, man. They don't need a dome.
They do.
No, they don't. No, they don't, man. Like, no, you got to take advantage of those elements, man.
They don't take advantage of them.
They don't. They don't.
Them boys soft as hell when it comes to the snow, bro.
Hey, I mean, that's not their fault though. But they need, you need to be outdoors, man. Like, I think Minnesota needs to be outdoors. You just saying that because you go to the games. That's why.
No, I'm saying it in general. They haven't. How is it a home field advantage when we never take advantage? The game against the Chiefs that you talked about was in the snow at home in Orchard Park with those winds that Josh Allen is supposed to be so much better than everybody else throwing the ball in. We lost 27. What was it? 27-10. You got dog walk at home while it was snowing in Orchard Park with Bills Mafia.
Hold on, what was this?
This last game that we played, the last time you saw the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, you mean against Cincinnati? Oh, you had me confused with Kansas. You said Kansas City.
Sorry.
You had me confused.
I thought I said Bengals. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I go off about that game, so maybe I just was. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, no, dude, it was snow at home.
It goes cold in Cincinnati too. Not like Buffalo, but it gets cold.
It was snowing. We had the lake effect snow happening. We had Bills Mafia out there chanting and singing the shout song. We had all of that stuff happening that we talk about for the playoffs. And nobody wants to see Buffalo in January. And with the Kansas City came and they saw us. Not Kansas. I keep saying Kansas City. The Bengals came and they saw us at home.
They did. They sure did.
By the way,
they saw us at home.
By the way, the Bills have the 7th toughest schedule in the league, which is actually the easiest out of all the opponents in the AFC East. Quite crazy enough. The Dolphins are 2nd, and then the Patriots are 3rd, and then the Jets are 6th. So I don't know if you want to what you want to take from that, but yeah, I think all the teams. I mean, it's going to be a tough schedule, no matter for all the teams in the division this year, because they play the AFC West and they play the NFC East too. So you're playing 3 playoff teams from last year in the NFC East, and then you're playing the Chiefs and the Chargers, who also made the playoffs. And then for Buffalo, I think they also play Jacksonville too as well. So exactly. So yeah, I mean. That's tough. That's a tough sledding, but yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it because we get to see what the Jets are. You know, everybody's talking about them and their chances to possibly reach the Super Bowl. I'm not there yet. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contending team, at least not right now. But you know, let's see where they are. And they get a measure stick game against the team that's won, you know, the division the last 3 years. So I think it's a perfect start to Monday Night Football, 9/11, you know, in Jersey. I think it's gonna be electric, you know, atmosphere there, to say the least.
Yeah, I just need you to go on Twitter and start saying how much the Bills are going to beat them by to grow your fan base and love for you in the city.
Look, I don't even know. Like, I'm not even there. I'm not even doing predictions, none of that, bro. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Jets were to win. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. But you know, I could go either way. But still, I don't make predictions like until we get to August. But we'll see.
Sunday, that's Sunday. We're gonna have to link and watch the game. Unless I don't know what your work is like when it's a game
probably
day
nothing.
Like that. When you we'll have to link
or nothing. Like I'll probably. I don't know how they'll do it because typically for Monday night games you practice like on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I don't know if they'll practice considering like that's the first week of the season. They might just have a regular week and have 2 days off. So. Either way, like I'll be around on Sunday. Like I'm be watching the Raiders game anyway somewhere.
All right, yeah, no, let's get it because we was looking at it's New York, so it's always stuff to do. But I know the Yankees play that weekend. I'm like, I don't want to miss no football games. It's open
on Saturday. You go Saturday and watch the Yankees game.
Man,
Yankee, talk about trash. Right now.
I was just about to say I don't know if I want to see them right now anyway. Man, I ain't even
who they playing.
I don't know. I know right now they're not last. I know that much. Right now they're not last in the division. That's all I know.
Well, the Yankees and Red Sox are both like mid this year anyway.
It's horrible, man.
They're mid.
It's so bad. So All right. Any other big game that you can think of in with the division that you think will matter? I like the way that the end of the seasons look for every team. But what games are you looking forward to?
Well, at least the Bills fans don't have to complain this year about the heat since the game is in January in Miami, so they have that going for them.
See how he trying to. You see,
that's brutal.
You see how he doing that? Like
I see.
I just had to throw a little bit of shade there. By the way, the Yankees played the Brewers that weekend, so yeah, I might go out for that. But yeah, as far as the other team, like I think the Dolphins and Jets game is going to be big too, because I think both of those teams are going to be in the midst for the playoffs. I mean, obviously they play on Black Friday. I think that's going to be a big game, and then they play a month later in December down in Miami. So, if somebody can sweep the series, I think that'll go a long way to determine whether the division has 2 or 3 teams in the playoffs.
I just love the fact that, I know you was taking a little jab there, but I do love a Miami trip in January. Like that's a good break from.
But that's the best time to go. Like the Jets had their finale last year, so I love that.
Yeah, so no, that's gonna be a good trip. I'm gonna be sure to. You guys are home at the end of the year, right? I feel like.
No, well, the Jets are not. No, the Jets are on the road 3 of the last 4. They're in New England that weekend.
Oh, so yeah, I'm still calling talk crap because like the weather is still gonna be better where I'm at than where you are. So yeah, I'm gonna just. Yeah,
the weather is better down there than anywhere else in the country at that time of the year.
I don't know about anywhere, but I feel where you're going.
Where else in the country is it better?
I live in Phoenix, bro.
San Diego.
I will never complain about weather in Phoenix in January.
Better than South Florida with the water. Like they got water. Like
I hate that muggy stuff. I hate it being muggy.
It ain't muggy down there in January. Well,
it is always muggy. Are you kidding me? I was there in March and it was muggy.
Oh God.
Florida's always on the brink of extinction.
I like Florida, but if you're asking me to compare,
I guess I'm a southerner, so it doesn't bother me. Like some people it does. Like I can't even humidity doesn't bother me at all.
This man, just
like I love it. Like I love the humidity. Like I can't,
Okay. All right. Well, man, Matt in the comments say San Diego was perfect all year. I think San
Diego, yeah. That might be the only place. Yeah. I would totally live in San Diego, but they have no football team, so.
That's true.
He's just out here just throwing darts.
I know. He's sour today, boy.
He's
throwing darts. Because, okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, am I lying? Like, they don't have a football
you
team?
ain't lying, but they still love the Chargers, though. I mean, that's still their squad.
Do they? Not everybody, they don't. Like, a lot of people were pissed off about that, man. Like, a lot of people jumped ship.
Just like the Raiders fans were pissed off until they got the new stadium.
That's different, though. The Raiders have moved everywhere. The Raiders were in L.A. when I was born. They were in L.A., they were in Oakland, now they're in Vegas. That's different, though. With the Chargers were in San Diego for 60-plus years. Like, that's different, man. That's a lot different than the Raiders. Raider fans are used to moving around.
You trying to say the Raiders fans are second class, huh?
And then, no, that's what I said. And then the Raiders have fans everywhere. Raiders got fans everywhere. Like you can go anywhere in the country, it's a Raider fan though. You can be a Raider fan.
Raiders fans kill me, man. But you know what? They remind me of Bills and Cowboys fans, if I'm honest. Like I don't know what it is about Cowboys fans are more annoying, but but the passion that the Raiders and Bills fans and the Cowboys fans, and really I would even say Eagles fans.
I would say they remind me of Eagles fans. Like them, the Eagles are a lot of. They're kind of angry.
I could definitely put the Eagles up there. Eagles are like that. I remember when they came out here for to play against the Cardinals, and it was just like, is this a home game or what? Like it was nothing but green.
Well, they just probably took vacation. They just probably took vacation out there. That's usually what they do with Miami too. They just come down there, or just stay down there for a weekend and then just take vacation.
Yeah, it was like that. It was definitely like that. So, but look, let's go ahead and we're going to call it early tonight. I just wanted to connect with y'all, see how things have been going and talk about the schedule a little bit. Steros, you got anything special coming up soon that you want to highlight real quick?
No, man, I'm kind of on a hiatus, little breaky break. My son, My son is playing. We'll be in Chicago this weekend at a national tournament. So he plays with Billups Elite. So we'll be doing that. Little man starting football soon. It's gonna be a busy summer, man.
All right. Matter of fact, me and you got to talk because I feel like probably Jets play in Denver, right?
Yes,
they do.
I feel
Again,
like
for the third straight year.
So why don't the three of us go see Prime on that Saturday? See if they're in town when the Jets come into town, and we could just go see Prime do his thing, man.
Let's do that.
Are you gonna see him like get beat down by somebody?
Who cares? It's Prime. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, I just want to go. I just want to go and see Prime. That don't even matter.
Yeah, I need to look at the schedule, but yeah, I would definitely be down for that.
I don't think they're gonna be as bad as everybody's assuming.
Well, they're not gonna win like only 2 games. So yeah, I mean they'll be better than that. I don't know how much better though. I think they're probably like a 5-6 win team.
That for them, that would be a win this year. To get to 5 or 6 wins, that'd be good for them because their schedule's tough.
Oh yeah, it's definitely brutal for sure.
I feel like they picked up some ballers though. They picked up some.
But they changed the whole roster. They changed the whole damn roster.
Yeah,
So I would hope so.
57 players hit the transfer portal. Yeah, it's a lot, but hey, man, let's see. I mean, I think teams now more than ever can come in a year with that much roster over and be decent.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. So, all right, but let's plan that though, because like I said, those shows. I think that's the weekend.
Unfortunately, they'll actually be where you are in Arizona that weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Got to be more careful. We'll figure that one out, Strauss.
Yeah. There's plenty of games. Yeah. Now, Twan just might not come, but we'll be up in that thing.
We'll figure it out. So, Twan, you got anything that you writing or got anything that you want to talk about?
OTAs the next week, so I'll have a few articles on that. But other than that, just kind of relaxing and chilling this time of the year.
All right, and I think for me, next week I'm going to take one more week off from the code of conduct. We might do chop up. we'll talk about that during the week, and I'll figure that out. But other than that, y'all know how we do it over here with Buffalo Rumblings. Y'all love each other, take care of each other, and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative. Go Bills.
Go Bills.